Hey, Spence C, and another one of my daily videos. It is January the 15th, 2025. This is number 17. And today's title is Can You Really Make a Living from Music Without Spotify? Now, these are some frequently asked questions that I get asked and I see people asking. And I'm going to answer that in this video. But before I do, if you've been watching these daily videos, you'll know that in order to stay consistent, which is what this is all about, for 2025, the year of consistency for me, I'm uploading daily, posting more regularly, sharing my wins, sharing my losses, and sharing what works and what I've learned over the 30 years plus I've been in the music business, been a musician, done all kinds of different things in the music industry. So without further ado, this is almost a leader rewarder. If you want to join me, press pause, go and get your water, come back, press play, and let's down some aquavita together. Here we go. Mm. Room temperature, guys. Better to do it that way. That's good. Did you know the more water you drink, the more fat you burn? I didn't know that until today. Anyway, another good reason to stay hydrated, guys. So, can you really make a living from music without Spotify? And I'll add into this, especially if you're over 40 or 50, because I'm aiming these videos at those people who are my people. I'm 51, almost 52, still trying, still getting there, still playing around, still experimenting in the music industry. So these are the things I've learned. And this is one question that comes up now and again. In fact, a lot. So let me ask you this. If Spotify was to disappear tomorrow, like TikTok is disappearing in the United States as of January the 19th, then would you be able to make any money from your music? Now, the answer to that is a lot of people is kind of no, I guess, if you're relying on Spotify. So before you sort of just click away, scroll on, and just think this is another anti-Spotify rant, it's not. I'm not saying Spotify is bad. I'm not saying you shouldn't use it. I'm just saying that Spotify in and of itself is just a marketing tool, you know, and they want you to spend more time on it to build up playlists and all that kind of stuff. And so because it's a marketing tool, you can't really control the amount of people you get into it. And if you're using bots and stuff like that, obviously that doesn't work either. So you cannot control your audience. It's still a rented platform. They could shut your account down for anything, any reason. They could stop it. You could disappear, and then you're left where all your fans gone. They've got no way of getting in touch with you. And those listeners, very hard to convert those to fans anyway. So Spotify is a tool to have in your arsenal for sure, but don't base your whole career on Spotify. This is my advice. Now, some people have done that and maybe have been successful at it, but I think you'll understand if you look into those strategies deeply that they have a lot of serious skills that a lot of people don't have. And I'll talk more about that in another video. But let's get on with this one. So for example, if you are on Spotify and let's say you've got 10,000 monthly listeners, that's great. But how do you convert them into fans who, if you were going to turn up and play a show, that they would turn up and they would spend money to come and see you live and they would buy merch? So the best way to do that is to start putting on your own gigs. I'm a big advocate for this, to be live. Now, you might not be a live artist. Maybe you're a kind of a DJ or you're a producer, right? You can still go live, you know. Let's take people like Butch Vig, for example. I'm going back to the 90s here. He produced the seminal Nevermind album from Nirvana, right? So massive producer, but he started off with just being a producer, right? And then he created a band called Garbage, and he got a front person, and they created a band. So then he's got interacting with a live audience. So that's what you could do. Just because you're a producer doesn't mean to say you can't be a live act. And if you are a live act, then get out there, start playing live, get some merch together. Now, this all comes from having your story straight, having your genre locked in, having your niche locked in, and having your kind of identity, your brand locked in. It makes everything else, once you start with that, then it makes everything else a lot easier. It makes the merch easier. It makes your kind of branding easier. It makes gigs easier. And it just makes easier for fans to get who you are and buy into you straight away. So that's what I would suggest. So build a real audience, people who would come to you and come and see your gigs live. So that would also include busking. Now, I'm a big advocate, as you know, of busking. Now, there's a few acts which I'm going to be talking about in future videos who have done this brilliantly. They started out on the streets playing as a band, which always gets a lot of attention, and they managed to get those live audiences, those live performances, is content. They use that for content. They put money on it for like Facebook to boost the post and to use it for ads, so it gets to a wider audience. And then they use that wider audience and they funnel those people into their mailing list that's on their website. Again, just have to be a basic one. People opt in then to join their fan club, if you like, get access to like a free download or a free, whatever it is, free gig or something, some kind of giveaway to get people interested in. You're on the mailing list, and then you can communicate with them directly. You can tell them, give them all the BTS stuff, give them all the sort of exclusive stuff that people on just Facebook aren't going to get. And that's how you build a fan base. It's just basically like a fan club back in the day. You remember those? You probably don't if you're younger watching this, but if you're over 40, you'll probably remember fan clubs before the internet was about. If you were interested in a band or anything really, you could be celebrities or whatever, but let's use bands for example. Let's say you were into U2, because they were around at that time. They would have a fan club. So you'd send off your stamped addressed envelope to the fan club, and then they would send you back like newsletters in print, this would be, and like all kinds of updates on what they're doing. And that's how it would work, right? And so it's just the same thing, but it's online nowadays and a lot easier to manage. So busking is a great sort of central foundation to a live act, because it's endless content. You're getting live fans who are watching you busk, and you're getting people online when you're putting your content out there. And you can get paid live, you can get paid, in your merch store. And that's the other thing, merch store. If you look in the description down below, Elastic Stage is the only on-demand vinyl service. So what that means is you record your music, you can upload your pre-recorded music that you've already done, or you could record a live recording and upload that and sell that as an album. But you don't hold any of the inventory. You don't have to order the stock in to then pass it on to the fans. The fans just order from that site and it goes straight to the fan. You don't hold any inventory. So you're not going to have a spare room full of unsold CDs and albums. You just send it. If they want to buy one album, you send them one. They send them one album. You get a cut. Obviously, you don't get the whole amount. You get a cut of the profits depending on how much you've set the price at. And the best thing about that is each part of the vinyl, each piece of vinyl that you sell makes you eligible for a chart release. So if you're selling a lot of them, then it becomes eligible for charts. So you can chart from those selling. So it's just incredible. 10 years ago, this didn't exist. You had to spend thousands to get CDs and DVDs, albums to sell. And then, like I say, you probably end up with a lot that you didn't sell. But now it's direct to fans, so there's no excuse. And also, if you're building locally, which I strongly suggest you do as a live act, Google Business Profiles is one of the best ways to tap into that massive flows of traffic that are on Google, people go Google searches. So if you've got a well-optimized Google business profile, you've got lots of reviews on there, you've got lots of videos on there, you've got your merch store up on there, you're updating it every week with new stuff, with your gigs, with behind the scenes stuff, with all kinds of things, with interviews, with features, all this kind of stuff you add onto the Google business profile. You treat it like your own website. You get lots of different reviews from the live shows that you do. And then that, when people type in your name, you come up on Google front page and you're tapping into that traffic, and it's free. So if you get all these things rocking and rolling and talking to each other, then you can build your own empire. You can build your own music business. It takes a lot of work. I'm saying all this because, you know, I'm making it sound easy, but it's not easy. It's simple. If you strip it all down, it's a very simple process, but it's not easy. You will need support. You will need patience with it. You will need a vision. You will need to manage your expectations and to just keep chipping away. But for, let's say, every 1,000 listeners you get on Spotify, if you can convert one of those to a fan that will turn up and pay to see you live and pay for merch and maybe bring a friend around next time, that is worth more than 1,000 streams, I think, because then that's a real live fan that will follow you around, not just a listener who's very passive and not sort of invested in your music, because Spotify is free, right, generally. So that's how you do it. And if you want help with this, if you want help setting this system up, because that's what it is, you're building a system which is creating a funnel, which is bringing fans in, and they funnel down into your store, into your journey, into your music, and then you keep them there by keep giving more and more, updating more and more music, creating more and more content, creating more and more merch, and creating more and more stories for people to latch onto. So if you want help with that, I can help you. You can check my, get in touch with me down below in the descriptions. And if you comment, drop a comment down below, just get involved. Let me know what your questions are, because this is like, I'm doing these frequently asked questions now. So what questions do you have that you want me to cover? Is there anything in this video that you don't understand? Let me know in the comments down below, and subscribe, like, share. I noticed there's been quite a few shares of these videos, so thank you so much for that. And yeah, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I've grown 100% in about 10 days to 14, in 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks I've grown 100%. So if I grow 100% every 2 weeks, then we're well on the way to hitting 10K subscribers, which is a big goal, getting this channel monetized. And all kinds of things are going to be happening in the future with this. I'm going to be doing longer form content as well. I'm going to be doing some sort of more educational stuff. There might even be some interviews on here, because I really want to share with you some of the people who I think are really smashing it at the moment in terms of doing what I'm talking about, setting up their own systems. So they're completely independent artists using social media to funnel people into their system and not just relying totally on social media. Okay, rant over. Thanks very much for watching. See you tomorrow. Be prosperous.